Please welcome to the stage Laura Holson, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and Kimball Musk.
So how are you guys doing? It's Happy Monday. It's 4:30. Are you guys ready to be entertained?
Cocktail hour, come on.
If you were not already
You're
entertained?
looking tired.
Well, I don't know how you could be tired after seeing what you just saw. Kimball Musk, as you know, he is founded the company of Nova Sky Stories. And maybe you could explain to everybody what we just saw.
Yeah, what you just saw, well, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much for including me in this event. What you just saw, we did a show for the Vatican. It's 2025th anniversary, as one does. And we want to do something special. The theme was Grace for the World. Andrea Bocelli, Pharrell Williams, Jennifer Hudson, as well as many other amazing singers, sang to our art flying over the Vatican. So you saw the hand of Adam and the hand of God above the Vatican. That was a 2-hour show and a good example of what is coming to the world.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you founded. What's the origin story of why you decided to get involved? And, and talk a little bit about the drones and how the drones work.
Sure. So this was a division of Intel's. They had been working on it for 10 years. The CEO had a strong passion for entertainment. These were the only drones in the world not meant for military, not meant for warehouses. And COVID happened. It was really difficult. Intel, frankly, needed a focus, and they still need to. So the artists came to me that I was helping, mostly Burning Man artists, and they said, Intel's going to shut this division down. Please help. See if you can just talk them into not shutting it down. Went to speak to them. They said, we're either going to shut it down or you're going to buy it from us. And I was like, I never thought I'd be buying a division from Intel, but all right, what do we got to do? And it's been just an amazing journey. So the technology is extraordinary, 100% meant for entertainment, but it leverages the most advanced drone technology in the world. That was a 3,000 drone show you saw. We fly shows of all shapes and sizes all over the world, 40 countries, and really focusing on the creative process, telling stories in the sky.
I want to go back a little bit to 2021, because if I remember this correctly, you were at Burning Man in the desert where you saw someone create a huge man using this technology. Is that right?
Well, that was actually me and my artist friend creating the man.
I see.
Yeah, that was us. That was before I bought it. And then 6 months or 9 months later is when that same artist, Ralph Nauta, said, please help, because Intel was going to close it.
Right. And Jeffrey, you recently made an investment in Nova Sky Stories.
Let me tell you the most shocking thing probably that will have been said on this stage today. I was at Burning Man.
In 2022, right?
6 months later.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up at the sky, and there's this giant, spectacular, beautiful eye staring down at 80,000 people, blinking at us. And as probably the only person there not on anything, I had a religious experience. So I fast forward, reached out to a couple months ago, or about 5-6 months ago, to Kimball, and asked if he would actually do a show for something else that I was working on, which he did. And the technology, in terms of where he has taken it in these last couple of years, it was truly an aha moment. And to put it in, I'll give you context for me, which is in either 1989 or 1990, I saw this short film called Luxor the Lamp. And
which is a Pixar.
It was the original piece that John Lasseter made. And first tried to hire John Lasseter, that didn't work. Then I tried to buy the company, and that didn't work. And then we made the 3-picture deal. And that moment of seeing that short film, which to me was like, oh my God, here is our future. I had that same feeling when I saw this 10 minutes that Kimball did for for us this last May. And that started just a conversation with us and realized that what he is onto is actually a whole new platform, a new medium, a new stage for storytelling. And the stage is the sky.
And what's interesting is that it's a departure also for both of you in a way. For Kimball, as you know, some of you may or may not know, you're a very successful restaurateur, and you're a very successful entrepreneur. You started a company early on with your brother, which you later sold, and it did quite well with that. And Jeffrey, you're extraordinary storyteller. I mean, anybody who knows DreamWorks Animation, can look at you and your vision and what you created there. But this is a different animal. So how are you each,
Well,
approaching it?
I'll just say, Kimball is an artist and he is incredibly creative, and he has that gene that I believe John Lasseter had.
Mhm.
But he's also, at the same time, which is also true of John Lasseter, which is that he is an incredible, brilliant technologist. And Nova is the marriage of technology and storytelling. That is what his company does. And that's what excited me and why I wanted to come in and support him and help him and realize what is an incredible vision, for this company and the opportunity that it's for all of us over the next three or 4 years. It's, where everybody's talking about downsizing and, where are the next creative jobs coming from? Here.
I mean, honestly, we I know a lot about AI, and I'm more than most humans. We're a human company. We just need as many animators, creatives as possible to join our company. We're hiring as fast as we can. It's real storytellers, real animators from places like Pixar and elsewhere. But really, it's the human storytelling that makes the heart move, draws out the emotion, and that just is so beautiful working in this medium.
But you really like, everything I've read, you really like the communal experience.
I love the gathering place. In fact, we should show her the video of we do the show around the world now. It's an hour-and-a-half long show, Vivaldi Four Seasons, classical music, 5,000 people in the audience, and this is in the LA Equestrian Center.
Can we pull up that video, please? Watching that I was struck by something interesting, that if you look at movies, we're in a dark room, we're not talking to each other. But with that kind of experience, people can actually talk out loud.
I love the gathering place, the communal experience. You get a unifying moment with your community. The restaurant world does that for me too, and I've done restaurants forever. And it's just this beautiful energy that you get with being around your community.
And Nova has, if I'm right, about 9,000 drones. Am I right on
No,
that?
we're a lot more than that. We are manufacturing as fast as we possibly can. So we're in 40 countries. I think we'll be at 12,000 by the end of this year, maybe closer to 30,000 by the end of next year. And it's actually just capacity constrained. We manufacture in Europe, the USA, and China based on where the customer is. And we just can't go. It's an art medium, but it's a digital art medium. So you actually almost like creating an animated movie. So the projector is essentially the drones. So we're just like making a lot of projectors, but the content is created. We now are just getting it out there.
Okay, so this is going to sound like a silly question, but how do you get them not to run into each other?
You talk to them nicely.
Yes.
You ask them to be polite.
6 feet apart, or
That's
6
right,
inches
exactly.
apart. Seriously, I'm curious.
No, honestly, the technology is extraordinary. So we're able to pinpoint drones to within 5 centimeters cubed in the sky. it becomes a three-dimensional canvas. So instead of thinking about it like a screen, think about it like three football fields wide, three football fields deep, three football fields high. This cube that can just give you a physical experience that's just not the same as movies.
It's more like a stage. If you think about a Broadway theater.
Yeah, it's more like a stage.
You think about a theater which is, got a box and it's got depth and height and width to it. This is a very, very big box and can have up to 3,000 drones in it. And it is this extraordinary software that Intel spent 12 years perfecting. Frankly, in the 3 years since Kimball has taken it on, has evolved pretty significantly, and still, and we know in the next 18 months, the next generation of both drones and of the software are going to make this look like, sort of hand drawing. It's that exciting.
It's really going to be amazing once we are able to truly put the medium to the world, which means building drones, but also the advancing technology. I think 2 years from now, you guys will be completely aware of what we're doing, and you'll be blown away. And it's just going to keep getting better. We're at the very beginning of a technology revolution in entertainment.
And how much do China, as we know in this sector, in this genre, if you will, is a leader. What have you taken from looking at the way China does their, drone shows, or is that what we call them?
We call them, well,
what do we call them?
If you're flying like one piece of art in the sky, it's like Burning Man, when we were doing the Eye, for example, which is really a beautiful piece of art, that's more of a drone show. What our sky stories are, they're an hour and a half long. The drones will literally, if it runs out of battery, it will get replaced by another drone. So the audience doesn't even notice the drones replacing each other. It's really an entertainment experience, more a storytelling experience, and that's what Nova is doing. So I think that you could argue, call it a drone show, call it a sky story, but it's really the fact that you're buying a ticket and you're enjoying it with your family for at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
And we are talking to all of the studios about their IP. So there's original IP that Nova is creating, and there's a couple of shows out there now. There's a new show that Kimball has been working on for some time, which will be the next original show. But we fully expect that we will be doing you just think about the best IP, whether it's out of Disney or Universal or Warner's or Paramount, and we are starting to talk to all of them about adapting. And again, if you sort of think about the movie of Lion King, it was adapted to the stage. It is the same story, but it's told in a completely unique way that takes advantage of a theater. And so now move that to the next place, which is take advantage of this giant cube and the sky and this new technology. How do you adapt that?
Right.
Storytelling. And so, some of the best movies and best IP in Hollywood will be a part of what Nova does.
We might see a huge Shrek.
I really worked hard to get to know Jeffrey because legend in the entertainment business, but as a storyteller. Some of my favorite movies, Lion King, one Aladdin, another one. That I was like, I just want Jeffrey to pay attention, not necessarily invest. That came later. That made sense, and we really want this to be a storytelling medium. We want people to have just like you'd go to a musical on Broadway. You're having an experience, and you're sharing it with your family, your friends, and you're being moved in your heart. You're being moved emotionally. That's our goal, and that means it's a story. That means we're drawing people in, we're surprising them, delighting them, making them sad, making them happy through this art medium.
So I want to go back to China a little bit because China has been a real leader in this area. I think there was a show in June, just this past June, where they used 11,787 drones. So do you see yourself as a competitor to what China is doing?
No,
or do you think the pie is big enough for everybody?
Yeah, we don't. So our creative is really flown on our drones and only made for our drones. So we do work in China, but it's our drones with our content. The drones they make for other drone shows are pretty rudimentary. They're mostly military or warehouse drones been repurposed for with LEDs. And I mean, I think it's a little bit more like clip art in the sky than it's actually storytelling. But I hope that some of these folks get into the storytelling side because competition is a good thing.
You also, if I'm correct, in March, you signed, you became a strategic partnership with Abu Dhabi or partners. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so our business, we go country by country. So when we go into a country like the UAE, we actually have to build a relationship with the government. We have to build drones for that country because these are, it's going to surprise you, but every single one of these drones has the same certification as a 747. So crossing borders with these drones is really quite a thing. And so we build fleets for a country. And so Abu Dhabi has ordered a 10,000 drone fleet. Europe right now has maybe 4,000, USA 4,000, and then in the other 40 countries we sprinkle it around. But it really is about if a country wants us to come to the country, like Brazil that we're working on right now, there's a production partner or a government entity that will bring us to Brazil.
So Jeffrey, you, as well as being an investor, and by the way, how much did you guys invest in his?
A pretty good amount.
Okay. Bigger than a bread box?
Yeah.
Okay. You're also a strategic advisor. What kind of advice do you have kind of looking at this medium? I mean, what kind of advice would you give? Like, how is it different from movie making or how is it similar? I think you
Well,
mentioned stage as a good example.
To me, that's the most analogous one, not only in what, in what you're adapting. It's not a screen that you're projecting on. It's a environment that you're able, and then you have these objects, any kind of objects with as much complexity. Just think of each drone as a pixel. And so to be able to create a story and tell them in this new setting, I just think is, incredibly exciting. Again, this is, Kimball's dream and his creation. And honestly, I'm just trying to give him some rocket fuel.
So could you see?
They're in the rocket business, and so I'm starting to give them a little.
So could you see this as, could we see would it be like, could you see like a Shrek in the sky?
100%. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing to think about. Right now, today, if you think about live entertainment, it falls into principally two buckets. I mean, there's some exceptions in it, but if the big buckets of live performance today is sports and music, and there are other things there, but for outdoor, those are the two, and they are giant businesses, both of them, multi-billion dollar a year businesses. The places that they do it, the arenas, the stadiums, the soccer fields, all the places, they're empty 300 days out of 360. And so the venues actually are there. They exist
that's interesting.
for us to do that. We don't have to build, theaters. We don't have to build these, the beauty of this is that, you pack these things up into two 18-wheelers and literally takes 4 people to fly that show. Now, it takes a lot of artists to create it. But that's the big opportunity here, is to create what can be the third pillar of live outdoor entertainment. And
I think we
that's
really
big.
can fill those stadiums, and because it's digital art, you can really put so much human talent and resources into the content, and it scales. So you can put millions, tens of millions of dollars into a show. If we were to redo Shrek in the sky, do an adaptation of it, it would take us a year or two. I think it was also kind of living. Like once we do a show, we don't stop. I think that's another thing that's different about our shows, our stories, is the technology keeps changing, and the actual story changes as well. Wow, now we can tell that part of it. Oh wow, we can make that happen. So it was like once it's out there, it doesn't stop. It's not in the can. It constantly evolves.
So think about How to Train Your Dragon, which the dragon actually is
Exactly.
fine,
Yeah.
and, and coming right up to the audience, and
Right.
the ability to almost touch that, and it's really exciting what but the possibilities are really exceptional, and I think, there's just a great roadmap for him.
It's interesting because if I'm correct on this, there was a hotel in Australia called Uluru. Am I pronouncing it
Yeah,
correctly?
Uluru Rock, yeah.
Yeah, and they were, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but what they wanted is they wanted people to stay overnight in their hotels. Maybe you can tell the story because that's a
Yeah, it's
very
so
practical
if you guys know,
application.
there's a big rock in the middle of Australia. It used to be called Ayers Rock, now called Uluru Rock. And it's a beautiful place to go for a hike, but people would fly in for the morning, and then they would fly out in the afternoon. And the government had built these hotels around it, and no one was using them. And so they asked us to build a show with the indigenous community, created a 20-minute long, beautiful sky story about using Aboriginal art in the sky, collaborating with local artists. I mean, what an experience to tie ancient art with the most cutting edge technology. And for the government, back to why we have relationships with these governments, they're able to create an entire industry of people staying overnight, enjoying the area for a longer period of time. It builds the economy. And so we were actually working with government entities around the world for creating other things like that. My dream would be to do something at Mount Rushmore, where it's like the history of America, would be great. Or at Crazy Horse, the history of the Native American community. We can do all of that. And we can take these iconic places and turn them into beautiful stories.
And then the next, sort of just an extension of that, which we've also been exploring last couple of days in some great meetings around town, is what you can do with music,
Right, yeah,
where
that's
you
natural.
can pick a great artist, and or great theme albums that you can think about that have been created, and turn those into sky stories, and for a very different audience, right? Something that's maybe, well, anyway, so there are many different ways to take this drone art and I think put it out there into very exciting new experiences.
Am I right? Did you do something with Jewel
Yeah.
in her music? Maybe you
Jewel
could
has a
explain that.
beautiful sky story that she created,
Yeah.
a more of a meditative one, where you actually sit and meditate for 10 minutes, and then she sings a 10, 12-minute song to the art that she worked with our creatives with. It goes all over the world, at Art Basel, places like that. We work with these amazing, so it's such an honor to work with these incredible talents.
Okay, so if you had when you were talking about How to Train Your Dragon, the first thing I thought of is Game of Thrones. Like, could someone literally see a fight with the dragons in the sky?
We are doing R&D to have a dragon made out of drones, but it'll actually breathe fire.
Oh, like real fire?
Like
Not
real
fire.
fire, and the audience, you will feel the heat.
Oh, okay. So you've got to
That'd be
explain
cool.
that. How does that happen?
We can't tell you.
We can't tell you, and when it happens, we'll invite you to the show.
Thanks. I just imagine sparks flying out and other regulators going, no sparks.
That is the thing, which is there are, again, people sort of think about what is the most basic version
Yeah.
of a drone, with a little flashing light on it. And, again, that's sort of the first generation. We're already onto the second or third generation, and the fourth and fifth, which are in the works right now, and we'll start turning them out mid next year, allow you to do all kinds of things that people have not really imagined yet.
I keep thinking we're in this kind of post-pandemic world where people really do want to be together. And, even if we were in a pandemic again, we hope not.
Well, the Wrap just put out today, I think, a thing, an industry report on live entertainment, where it just continues to be extraordinary growth, particularly at the big outside scale entertainment. So,
I mean, our growth is extraordinary in all live entertainment, outdoor. We sold 6,000 tickets last year. We just hit 200,000 last weekend for this year, and we're just getting started. And that's people wanting that they're looking for ways to go be entertained in the evening in their community. The industry is thriving. It's just
so just to put that in perspective, so we will do over 200,000 tickets in the fourth quarter of this
third quarter.
Third quarter of this year, and then how many in?
We think we'll do another 300,000 just in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so 500,000 really in year one. When I read here, the number one tour for this year is Chris Martin, and I think he'll do 2 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
We will pass
And I think
that
our
next-
one
we
show will
will
do
pass
2 million
that
next year. Exactly.
Wow. Do you worry about regulation? Because, America is a much more regulated market, say, than China is, and it's,
We're very regulated.
Yeah.
I would say actually the regulation is not a bad thing. Safety is really critical. And I think a lot of the folks that are repurposing drones are trying to get on the wave of this live entertainment experience. And they are not actually flying safe drones, and they're used incorrectly, used unsafely. They're not great. We have a 100% safety record and plan to keep it.
I was thinking about, in my mind, I was thinking different ways people could use this, as well as entertainment, but also messaging. So corporations use this technology for messaging too, correct?
They do. It's not a big business for us to do
Okay.
that. We will do it occasionally when we think it's when you work with creatives, and you say to them, we're going to go do an advertisement for American Express. They're like, wah, wah. That doesn't mean we're not going to do it,
Yeah.
but I've got to come on, guys, you can do this.
But I think what will happen around this is more sponsorship.
I see.
So
Yeah.
we will sponsorship as it is with music, as it is with sports, will be a pillar of what makes this economically viable and successful in it, but as opposed to creating we're not going to do what is the next version of a plane flying with a flag behind it on the beach. Those old
Right.
Right. Yeah. No, I was
Yeah, right.
actually, that's what I was kind of thinking, I don't know,
Yeah,
buy Tums or whatever they say. I don't know what they
We think others will do it, and it's fine, but it's the storytelling is the power.
Right. And your interest in art, were you artistic? Did you have art as a young man?
I'm a garage band musician. I have
Okay.
been forever. Been to Burning Man now for most of my life, 27 years, and been working on art there, so building physical art. And Burning Man is very experiential art. So, and I love that feeling of experiential art. And what we're doing at Nova is experiential art.
Right.
So for me, this is just a blessing to be able to do this for a living and to work with legends like Jeffrey and work with Jewel or other Andrea Bocelli. And honestly, this is great. I'm so excited to be building this business with all these amazing humans.
Do you want the last word, Jeffrey?
not particularly.
Well, then I'll take the last
let's go
word.
drink.
Okay, those are the words I love to hear. So we want to say thank you both for being with us today, and very interesting what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
And thank you to everybody for staying and being with us. It's really, really exciting what you guys are up to. And I can't wait to see the flying dragons.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Party time.